Hi, how you doing? I'm Saeed Khan, and today I'm back, as you know, with another video. And I want to talk about perfectionism and why it may be slowing you down. Okay, so are you a perfectionist and trying to be perfect in everything that you do, especially when it comes to work or even your personal life? And you're always setting high standards and producing work and just the general things that you do. You're always thinking perfectionist. You want to be perfect in everything, right? Well, if you are, then it may be slowing you down, slowing your productivity down, and utilizing unnecessary time, which you could otherwise use it, to be productive in other areas of your personal and business life. Because whilst you're being perfect doing one thing, you're spending that most valuable and finite resource that we have in life, which of course is our time, right? So you should really think about before you spend that time to perfect something, even if it's worth being perfect in certain situations. So you have to think about it, consider that, does it really matter that I need to be perfect in this thing, right? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be perfect, a perfectionist in everything. Definitely not. For some things you have to be, it has to be perfect, right? For example, if you're completing an official application form, or say for example in your business you're trying to patent a product or something official, right? A document. And of course you must make sure absolutely, everything's perfect in the form, pay attention to detail and all that stuff, because it's a crucial process for your business, for your work, for your life. And and definitely you need to make sure it's 100% perfect, right? For example, if you're just writing now, in many cases, like I said, you don't have to be 100% perfect, all right? You don't have to be 100% perfect. And let's use an example, when these situations. So for example, if you're just writing a quick social media post, right, to your audience, in your Facebook or Twitter or whatever, just to provide a tip or something, right? Think about it. It doesn't have to be perfect. The key thing here is to ensure that you get your value, that you want to convey in your message across, in the post, for example, in the right way, right? The main message of the post that you're trying to post. So, for example, if you can convey a message in 15 words, why be sophisticated and spend time and effort looking for big words and sentences and using 30 words? Yeah. So there's no need for that. And I mean, this social media post example, as it gets older, it's going to be probably pushed down in the history, the timeline or whatever it is. And also you have to remember, social media platforms and spaces you don't own anyway. So maybe you don't want to be too perfect in these platforms, okay? Because at the end of the day, you don't own the thing. And at the end of the day, social platforms are borrowed spaces in comparison to your own website where you own the platform. So maybe you want to be perfect in your own website rather than social media. Okay, so that's just one example, right? So here's some reasons why being perfect all the time may be stunting your personal and business growth, okay, and just generally your life, that it may be, maybe not good for you in some ways, all right? So stress, anxiety, and unhappiness. So when you're trying to be perfect, you are likely to experience stress and worry, concern, because you're focused so much on making something absolutely perfect, right? And in many cases, to someone else, that something may be perfect for them, and good enough for them, and to your expectations it doesn't appear to be, because you're always in that perfectionist mentality. All right, so obviously that's not good. You don't want to be stressed and unhappy and all that, right? Inability to delegate. So delegation is an important activity in any business, any work. If you're working in teams or whatever, so, even if you're a one person solo business and you're trying to be a perfectionist, and you may want to end up doing many business tasks yourself because you don't trust others that they will do it perfect as you can. So you tend to refrain from delegating. So if you're a one person, a freelancer, wherever, something like graphic design, you can delegate it to a professional graphic designer, outsource it. But you want to do it yourself because you want to do it the perfect way, right? And that's not good, obviously, because that's going to be slowing down your work, your business, your project that you're doing in your job or wherever. So that's another thing, that your inability to delegate. So that comes into being perfectionist. So you may not want to be perfect in some areas that you may be good at. Some areas that you're not good at, you may want to delegate that, okay? So you have to understand and accept that you're not perfect in everything. No one's perfect in everything, right? Time wasting. So I'm going to reiterate this. I've mentioned time wasting already, but this is very important. because this is a massive potential loss that perfectionism can cause, right? And you must value your time, because no one, will care more about your time, than yourself and what you spend your time on, right? So with so much limited time on this earth that we have, so you must spend it wisely, and be stingy and Scrooge like. If you've seen that movie Scrooge that comes on in Christmas times or whatever, you have to be Scrooge like about your time, okay? Because trying to spend your time on perfecting something that doesn't need to be perfect but good enough will suffice, maybe not good. It may be not good use of time, right? Trying to be perfecting it. So missing deadlines and other work that needs to be done. So another important thing, this is very important, I'm reiterating again, is trying to be perfect on one thing. That could be slowing down, you're slowing you down and preventing your productivity on other things that you should be doing. So for example, I'll be honest, on many occasions, me myself, I was trying to be perfect and I missed out on completing other important tasks and deadlines that I need to complete for the day. So simply because I was too much focused on trying to be perfect and on one thing, then I realized that at the end of the day, I've spent so much time on that one thing, right? I missed out on other important things that should have been completed. And those are just some of the important reasons why perfectionism may have a negative impact on you. Okay, so let's use another quick example. Let's say um, you're an expert in one thing, right? And then say for example, you just and you're not an expert in another thing, right? But you still want to have a go at it, right? Say like graphic designs, okay? You want to create a logo for your business, for your website, and I experienced that myself. And let's say you open up a Canva website, the free website where you can create a free logo or whatever, and you spend so much time trying to perfect that. Why spend so much time when you want it to look professional, yeah? And you're not a graphic designer, you're not, you admit that you're not too good at it. Why not just outsource it? Just outsource it, give someone professional a job, spend a few dollars, right? And you'll get a professional job done, rather than trying to, be stressed and, trying to get it perfect and 100% beautiful looking yourself. Because when you know that you're not a graphic designer, you know that, you're not good at it, but you are an expert on other things. So focus on the other thing that you're expert at. Okay. So let's look at few ways, right? How we can overcome being perfect all the time. Okay. So sometimes good is good enough, right? Great or perfect may be better than just good, but sometimes when you need to think, get things moving, deadlines to meet and produce more, maybe you should settle for good, right? Good enough. Because I'm not saying that all the time, but at times when good is good enough, good will suffice, right? Here's an example. Let's say you need to produce and present a nice PowerPoint presentation at an event tonight. That's happening tonight, right? And now it's daytime and you want to get this done tonight, and you only have um, a few hours, right, to get this presentation finished, ready for tonight. So instead of trying to make it look flashy and visually beautiful and perfect, and all that, which may take up time, obviously, why not focus more on the content and educational value inside the things of the presentation for your audience, which will provide more benefit for your audience. Okay, what's more important, the visuals or the content that you're going to produce, that you're going to present to them, right? So you have to think about that. So not everything is 100% perfect in life. Since we know this is true, we know that nothing's in life is perfect. When you're born, we're not all perfect. We don't come with perfect hands, feet, legs, or whatever. Everyone's different in their own unique way, and that's beautiful, because that's part of life, that's part of nature, right? And yeah, we all have to accept that, and we do accept that, right? And that since we know this is true, that everything in life is not perfect, why not accept and appreciate and embrace this fact and work according to it? Okay, so here's an example of imperfect being sold, actually, literally being sold, imperfect being sold. And I saw it myself. Tesco, I think might be Tesco or some other supermarket here in the UK, actually sell imperfect apples or something like that, fruit. And it says on the label, it says it's imperfect, apples or whatever, and on the label itself, and they sell that. So although they're imperfect, right, fruit, apples, whatever it is, people are still buying them. They're still on the shelves. If they weren't on the shelves, obviously they won't be selling them. Okay, they're always on the shelves, imperfect apples, and so obviously they're selling in some way, right? So people are still buying there, and they're still apples. They still provide the taste of apples. The benefits of apples that it provides, vitamins and all that. So that goes to show that imperfect is okay, right? Realize that we humans have an understanding and sympathy towards things and people, circumstances in life. That's including being imperfect. So therefore, a lot of us are happy to accept that, not so perfect things, whatever the state or condition or whatever it is. For example, these apples, right? I eat bananas almost every day. Some are perfect, some are not. I still eat them, and hopefully it provides the good stuff like the potassium and vitamin C and all that stuff that it provides. But that's how it is. Nothing's perfect, right? Focus on the process and production and perfect as you go along. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So this is more of a productivity thing where we should focus more on the process and producing results, right? Which is what matters really, rather than being perfect all the time. Okay, so because results matter in business, right, or work or job, whatever that you're doing, because when you go to do a job, for example, you need to produce a result, produce reports. If you're working in a IT call center, right, you need to close tickets, resolve problems, whatever, right? And here's an example. Let's say you're on a sales job and you have a target of 100 calls to make, right, per day. And you know that out of 100 sales calls, you usually end up with one sale. Okay, so that's like 1% conversion. Okay, now if you focus on getting the 100 calls out the way, right, maybe the first part of your day, I don't know how fast you go through these calls, right, and then you've met your 100 calls target for the day. Now that's done, that's good, you've produced the result, right, your target, you've met your target. Now that's done, you have some time left in the day. Why not be perfect now, right, and then perfect your sales pitch that you do, that 100 calls that you do. You got a script that you follow, wherever it is, right? And why not perfect that sales pitch and trying to increase your sales conversion, test out some new variations of your sales pitches for the remainder of the day and on some of the live calls that you do. So that way, you've achieved your daily target of 100, whatever it is, and you've made your one sale. Now you're perfecting your craft because you've got that little bit of time left, and you can perfect your craft, your sales pitches, maybe your conversion and stuff like that. So that way, in that situation, you can be perfect because you've produced the main results. Now you've got a bit of time that you can focus on being a bit perfect. Okay, so that's an example of how a situation where you can be perfect. So as you can see, it's about looking at the nature of the situation, the circumstances, and what you're doing, be it work or personal, and then you can decide whether or not you should perfect something or not. Okay, but it's all about prioritizing what's most important at any given time or thing before you decide to be perfect in something or not. Or if it really matters, if something has to be perfect or not, right? I.e. a banana, right, which looks a bit more ripe than normal, but it's still okay to eat. Okay, and this way you save time, you be more productive in your life, you get more work done in your business, your work, your job, whatever it is that you're doing, and you even eat good stuff. It may not be great food, but especially when you're hungry and you need to eat to survive, sometimes good is enough, right? When you eat food, sometimes you say, okay, yeah, it's all right. It's not like really tasty, but it's still good, but it's still going to fill you up. It's going to keep you alive, right? Okay, so that's really important, of course. So that's it for now, and hope you like this video. Remember, you don't have to be perfect all the time. Just sometimes good is good enough. Okay, but it's really important that we realize that sometimes perfectionist all the time may be slowing you down in terms of productivity, your personal and your work life. Okay, so hopefully you like this video. If you did, please do like, subscribe, and comment on this video, and then if you like more stuff like this, please do visit saeed-khan.com/newsletter and subscribe to my email newsletter. And I appreciate your time watching this video, and all the best to you. Thanks. Bye bye.